Disney Tarzan is developed by Eurocom Entertainment Software and published by Disney Interactive on June 30th, 1999 for the original PlayStation. It was also released on Nintendo 64, PC, and lastly Game Boy Color, albeit by different developer. But I'm just gonna talk about the PlayStation version, as that was the version I grew up playing. Eurocom is definitely no stranger to anyone, as they were the developer of multiple 007 games, Spyro A Hero's Tale, and Crash Bash. I hope I don't have to talk about this game in the future. Tarzan the game is based off the movie with the same name that was released 2 weeks prior during that time. The franchise would be successful enough to spawn multiple series: Legend of Tarzan in 2001, Tarzan and Jane, and Tarzan 2, all of which are pretty good in my opinion. But here's the thing, I actually never watched the original. When I played this game, there were multiple cutscenes, and my young self thought that those scenes were specifically made just for the game. And many years later, when I saw a rerun of the movies on television, that's when I realized, oh, it was a movie all along. Yeah, little weird history. Anyway, Tarzan on PlayStation 1. Everyone in my family, my dad, my mom's sister's son, my cousin, even the cat next to me, knows about this game and managed to beat it. And here I am, failing to do so, until many years later when I was able to do it. I guess I'm useless after all. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my personal life, but rather about the game itself. So does this game still hold up? Well, let's find out. Upon starting up the game, you are greeted with this. Man, the nostalgia is flowing back. I'm crying now. Anyway, you go to the option, set the game to easy, and welcome to the jungle. You control Tarzan with simple maneuver with the D-pad to walk around and face button to jump/attack. You know the drill, so I won't go further into it. As you are merely a stranger to the nature, you're gonna have to learn the rules of survival. Thankfully, you don't have to rely on the TV series of the same name. Instead, our buddy Turk is always there to give you a hand. He will tell you everything you need to know so that you know the drill to prepare for the worst. Wait, what do you mean Turk is a girl? I feel embarrassed now. After listening to some word of advice, she runs back to her nature instead of accompanying you. That means if you get killed, she wouldn't know. So much for a friend, huh? Oh hey, that animal looks cute. I'm sure I can pet him. Oh hey! What's the matter? I thought we are friends. Come on. Yup. Just because you are part of the nature doesn't mean the nature is part of you. Every single animal wants you dead. So what do you do to make an amend with them? Simple. Blow this sucker out of the sky. War crime is everywhere. Hashtag jungle war crime is okay. No wonder Kerchak is skeptical about my arrival. I'm pretty sure he's the whistleblower. Tarzan plays like your typical platformer. Move from point A to point B, collect items, and of course survive. Along the way, you got different items to pay attention. First and foremost, you got your coins. They give you extra life for every 100 coins, and you got your health bar that looks like a tree stem. By collecting fresh yellow banana, you can replenish your health by a few inches, which is a nice touch. Eat more fruit. It's good for your health. You need to be strong to commit war crime. You can also extend the bar by collecting this orange thing. Apart from your usual banana, you also have another yellow fruit which acts as your default weapon for each levels. Instead of eating it, you throw at a bunch of animals, presumably feeding poisonous stuff and watch them die. Who gave this to me? Is it Turk? Is it Kerchak? Is he expecting me to eat it? You don't just use your yellow thing, as you also can acquire a knife scattered across the game. Of course, you use it to make the animal suffer. Do you want to poison them? Or do you want to stab them? You poison and perform genocide because it's nature. Kill or be killed. But that's not just that. By pressing the circle, Tarzan can do this action. Are you trying to spawn Aku Aku or what? In some hollow ground, you do that and you can break open the floor to uncover secret items beneath. You can also do that on some blocks to get the items as well. No wonder the animal, especially Kerchak, hates you. This guy is crazy! As you continue into the heart of the nature, you can also collect different colors of fruits. Not for your eating, but to continuously perform war crime. Sounds good on paper, but execution is bad as they came in limited amount of number and they are pretty scarce for the most part. Once you run out of them, well, back to your usual yellow shtick. Not that it really matters because most if not all animals only take around 3 to 4 hits, making the different variation pretty pointless. Unless you are in a hurry, like doing a speedrun or something like that, you won't even need them at all. Not for the animals, not for breaking any bugs, and certainly not for beating any bosses. Thankfully, the rest of the game is still pretty fun as like I said, this game is a platformer. But with a twist. Instead of being strictly a 2D platformer, the game would refer itself as a 2.5D. Sometimes you can go into 2D area, but the way the camera shifts can change the perspective of everything. When you climb up this tree, the camera would switch to another angle. When you run down this area, the camera would do this area, etc. The whole transition is smooth and not jarring in the slightest. Considering the PlayStation 1 hardware limitation, the game never struggled to perform for the most part. It really feels like you're on a big adventure in the nature. Klonoa Door to Phantomile also incorporated a 2.5D element that makes the game super fun, and Tarzan is no slouch. This game came out 2 years after Klonoa. Someone at Eurocom definitely enjoyed Klonoa and decided to make a tribute. I guess it works. Wahoo! I really love this mechanic, as it opens up my imagination or meter to something else that I never expect to see it coming. It is an immersive experience. You know what's more immersive? The atmosphere. The game takes place in a jungle, and Eurocom respect that theme because when you play Tarzan, you feel like in a jungle. Just like me right now. From the jungle to the campsite to the boat, or which were able to present their elements to the fullest. Animals fly around, run everywhere, and throw stuff really make the place feel alive. As much as I hate the behavior of some animals, I gotta admit, without them, I would feel pretty lonely in this jungle. The flora and fauna were present throughout the adventure, and I'm not even gonna lie when I say I want to stay there for a few days. The places are vibrant enough to keep me exploring deeper and discovering the mystery beyond each leaves. The activity you perform in each area also culminate into a bigger value of appreciation. From surfing the tree, swinging between each vines, or interacting with a fellow animal, etc. I feel very immersed in this nature land. So it's no secret that I was immediately hooked to the game. We're not done yet with immersiveness though. The soundtrack for the movie was composed by Phil Collins, and everything a masterpiece. Despite being converted into the game and sounds a little different under the hands of different composers, it still sounds good. Oh wait, I have a solution. As this is a platformer, there is also collectible to focus on. Apart from your fruit and coin, you got 2 extra stuff to worry about. First is the 6 letters that spells out Tarzan, scattered across the map. Collect them and you unlock the cutscene from the movie. Second is the 4 sketches drew by Jane. Collect them all and you unlock bonus skip for each respective levels. There are 5 types of bonus level you will encounter: jungle cruise, stock ride, jungle jumping, tree surfing, and Turk and Tantral Great Escape. You collect a bunch of coins and collect purple fruit, not to attack animals thankfully, but to extend your time. My personal favorite is stock ride. Riding a stock and run while flutter to catch some coin is so fun, just like watching it in the movie. My least favorite though is Jungle Cruise, as you have to navigate through tight river filled with logs and rock, blocking your way. Oh, you also have to avoid the whirlpool. I hope I don't have to go near them. Jokes aside, these stages provide a diversion from the normal platforming stuff. Speaking of which, let's talk about the levels. There are a total of 13 levels taking place during different parts of the movie itself. You got your Klonoa Wahoo platforming, which never gets old with all the pros that I mentioned. You also got tree surfing that was included in few of the stages where you have to jump/duck to avoid tree hazards. The only complaint is that everything moves so fast and the camera doesn't do any justice. Seriously, if I can see further beyond, maybe it won't be a hassle, but that's just my opinion. Those 2 gameplays are fully performed by both young and badass Tarzan, but that's not to it. There are also 2 chase sequences throughout the game. One is young Tarzan getting chased by the elephant stampede, and of course, it's a little hard to catch all coins and items with how much chaos is going on. The next one stars Jane as she tries to run away from the chaos of baboon behind her. Yet again, same problem where I have to remember everything in their exact location while also survive the whole mess. It's almost like Crash Bandicoot, except you are moving automatically. Speaking of Jane, I gotta mention the different characters that you can play as in the main story. First of course is Jane, and boy they did her dirty. Not only did she have to run for her life, but she don't even have her own icon on the bottom left. After running a while, she get rescued by Tarzan. Once again, surfing on a tree trying to survive, but this time, you got a slight advantage. Jane is equipped with a parasol, or should I say, umbrella. By opening it, she can kick those baboons away from the tree. Pretty useful in my opinion. I guess you can say she is a parasol star. Next character you will play as is Turk. He starred in his own exclusive level. Oh sorry, she starred in her own level. She and her comrades are causing chaos on Professor Porter's campsite, and she navigates through the level and still get hurt by her friend. Seriously? What was that? And of course, she got her own icon, but Jin has none. It plays like traditional Tarzan level, but here is where I notice a big problem. The control for Turk are sluggish. Even the wildlife lizard agrees. Heck, not just Turk, but rest of the characters, but Turk is the most obvious. There's a significant amount of input lag on him. I mean her. Even after you try to move her, she only reacts after a few milliseconds. I'm serious, you can test it out yourself and understand what I mean. That means controlling her to go anywhere will be a hassle, as you wouldn't get the right amount of input to perform easy platforming. Tarzan and Jane also suffer from the same issue, though not as apparent. Anyway, back to Turk. You run through the whole level just to colonize British land. Gorilla Kingdom is real. That's all to it for the gameplay. Do some platforming, solve the tree, and that's basically it. Despite the weird controls, overall the game is pretty easy. I wish I can say the same for the rest of the game. This is what I like to call second half, and for all the wrong reason. Unfortunately, this is where the game starts to fall apart. Someone might get angry, but the second half is basically the same as Sonic Advance 3. Starting from journey to the tree house, everything starts to be so different. Firstly, the game becomes very hard from here on. Wait, you thought the stampede or the leopard is hard? Pfft. You haven't seen anything with this. Too many bottomless pit, crocodiles everywhere cause why not, and lots of traps. It's okay. The treehouse is right there. As long as I can get through, everything should be okay, am I right? Eurocom, what are you doing? Are you trying to make a platformer for all ages? Or are you trying to make a hard game to piss us off? It's as if the developer is coming up with the most devious plan to make a brutal level and then fail at the end. Even Road to Nowhere and High Roads are much better than this. Moving on to the next one, this is rocking the boat, and the gameplay switches yet again, from 2D to 3D. To be honest, the gameplay is still fun. Sure, the jankiness is still there, but I can still control it. It's a straightforward level with easy secret to discover. A big far cry from Treehouse. On towards the penultimate level. Tarzan to the rescue. Okay, trying to copy Crash Bandicoot, I see, huh? I see what you did there. You run forward, collect coins, break some blocks, avoid piranha, and run away from those pesky birds. And then we have this section where we ride Tantor to reach a head. Anyway, we left Tantor behind and arrived at the enemy villain, throwing barrels and stuff at us, and it was at this point where I got stuck. Back then, I always reach this point and never go anywhere beyond. This is where I got the most game over. And by the way, you do not want to see any of the game over scenes. It scarred me for life. If we try to run past them, this idiot decides to block our way, meaning we're gonna have to kill them. So correct me if I'm wrong, but has Tarzan ever killed someone in the movie? Please let me know. Anyway, you reach this area where I'm convinced I have to get smashed by this big crate above me, which makes me lose a life. And then when I respawn, the crate is gone. Am I supposed to get hit by that thing no matter what? Then you continue on, fight the villain, and got hit again! And guess what? The thing is gone again! Is this game broken or what? What were they thinking? Anyway, on to the final level. You get chased by Clayton to the top of the tree. Along the way, you have to collect the treasure Tarzan letters. I swear the enemy seems to hate me. Despite all my effort to save everyone, they still try to kill me. Anyway, you reach the top and prepare for the final battle. Which is easy. Memorization is important. Duck to avoid gunfire, jump to avoid knife attack, and throw fruits at him because why not? Anyway, you beat the game and got greeted by this.
You did it? You did it? I can't believe it! Wow! I bet you're good enough to try the medium difficulty level.
What were they thinking?
And that's my opinion on Tarzan for the PlayStation 1. It's a fun platformer that was pretty good for its time. Presentation is good, visual is pretty nice, and the gameplay is decent. Although the latter stages can be a nuisance, but the game as a whole, it was pretty fun. Putting my nostalgia goggle aside, this game definitely hasn't aged well. The controls can be frustrating at some moment, and the requirement to complete the game is ridiculous. I'm not even gonna go that far to collect every single coin to 100% everything for a reward that is not worth getting. But don't get distracted by the fact that the game still plays well. Klonoa has a twist that breaks your heart. Tarzan has a twist that breaks your mind. If you're interested, please check this game out. You will not regret it. Wahoo! Wahoo!